Hello, bestie pals. Welcome back to another video. My name is Hannah, and I am your new internet bestie slash sister slash queen. I don't know. Basically, my concept for today's video is that we're going to be tier list ranking every single class that I've ever taken in my whole high school career. Now, granted, I just did finish my junior year. I didn't take all high school classes yet, but just for three out of 4, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty close, I think. So, yeah, here's my freshman, sophomore, and junior year high school career, me ranking my classes, you know? Basically, for every class that I've taken throughout high school, I'm going to be giving it a rank and telling a little bit of an anecdote about it and explaining my ranking a little bit, so that maybe if you're like an 8th grader or something and you're going into high school, you can decide, do you want to take these classes or not? Maybe I could help you out a little bit in that area, you know? Without further ado, it's been like a minute, let's get into it. Alright, the first class that we're going to talk about is living environment. Now, living environment is actually a class that I took in middle school because they offered it like for kids who are like okay at math and science. First of all, I was not okay at math and science. I wonder why they even let me in that class. They just let them take it a year early because it's typically a 9th grade class, which is why it's on this list. It's a high school level class. But I took it in 8th grade and middle school. Now, funny about living environment and also Algebra 1, which we'll talk about later, is I took them online over Zoom because of COVID when I was in 8th grade. And so yeah, it was a little bit hard to grasp, and I did leave class early every single day to go to musical rehearsal because I had to get in the car and physically drive there instead of just going to the other room. And I never got talked to about it, so he must have not cared. But basically, yeah, living environment, took it online. Teacher was fine. Content was hard to learn online because living environment, it's biology. You have to like do like labs, but the labs had to be online on a site called Gizmo. Like, it was crazy because I had to like think about we were supposed to like view plant cells, but I had to view like a picture of a plant cell and I had to figure everything out. It was crazy. But yeah, living environment, I decided to put it in neutral because I don't really care one way or another about it. It's just a pretty normal class. Alright, remember how I said that I don't know how I got into the advanced math and science classes? Science, not so much, but math, oh certainly. I was actually okay at math until I got to Algebra 1, which is the next class we're talking about. But I don't think it helped that the foundations of my whole high school math career was on Zoom. I maybe should have learned Algebra 1 in person, and maybe that would not have jeopardized me for Algebra 2. But yeah, this was another class that I took on Zoom, and the teacher is fine. I didn't really get to know her because obviously she was just talking at me through a screen like I'm talking to you, like how much do you really know me, even though this is only my 3rd video. But you should subscribe and get to know me. That was my first video, get to know me. So yeah, you should watch it. So you can't really get to know someone over a screen, and it was hard to form like a bond between like us so that she could like teach me math correctly. But like, she taught me math fine, don't get me wrong, like she did her job. But I'm sure it was tricky for her too, over Zoom. So yeah, I put it in dislike, not because I dislike the teacher, but because I disliked math. All right, now on to actual high school, like classes I took physically at my high school. Now, not only did I take them physically in high school, but also physically at high school. I was no longer online by 9th grade. What we're going to talk about for high school is freshman English. I put this one in loathe for many reasons. First of all, book selections, terrible. We read The Graveyard Book, which wasn't a bad book in essence, but the teacher would insist we read it like 1 chapter a day, and those chapters were like this thick. And if you've never read The Graveyard Book, I think it might be for like a little bit of a younger age level than 9th grade. It seemed like it might be okay for a 6th grader or something, but like 9th grade, like I wouldn't read it. Maybe like leisure reading, you would read it. We read Romeo and Juliet, but we ran out of time at the end of the year, so that we just watched the movie. What else do we read? And we read To Kill a Mockingbird, which is actually one of the best books I've read in high school. But regardless, the teacher was not great. They literally would roast you if you wrote your little paragraph wrong. They'd roast you. They'd be like, this is terrible, I hate you. And I'd be like, okay, jeez. And this teacher was always depressed, and that made me sad. And it was first period, 7:30 in the morning. Didn't want to deal with it. Low. Okay, next class, Global 1. This is history for a freshman at my high school. And basically, it was an okay class. It set me up to take AP history classes for my other 2 years of high school, 3 because I'm taking AP next year too. But yeah, we learned about some very interesting civilizations like China. Okay, we learned about China and Rome and Greece. Those were all cool. And the teacher was very chipper, very nice for 8 in the morning because it was 2nd period right after English with the teacher before, who I said was not very chipper. It was an okay class. It wasn't bad, so I put it in neutral. All right, next class that I'm gonna be talking about, I also took in 9th grade, and it was health class. Health. Basically, The teacher didn't help because she told like really in-depth anecdotes from her life, and I'd be like, okay, what the f-? And she made us watch this movie where it was like the Great Sperm Race, and like all the people dressed as little sperms would like go on an actual little race and like try and reach like this ball, which was like the egg, just supposed to be like the egg that like fertilizes, like make a baby. And that was a weird movie, and I think it's a fever dream, but who knows. Anyway, class number 6, Earth Science. This is another one in Loathe. I hate Earth Science so much. This will come up next with next year's science course, but I used to be a very sciencey girl. When I was little, I wanted to be an astrophysicist. Earth Science is probably one of my least favorite sciences I've ever taken. And if you know me, you know I used to be a science girl, and now I don't even take science at all, probably because of Earth Science. It had to do with like mountains and like, you know, Earth, the layers of the Earth, stuff like that. It was boring and I hated it. It was worse than Living Environment, and I took Living Environment over Zoom. Loathe. Talk about Honors English 10. I took neutral for this one because it's not the worst English I've ever taken, because English 9 is still there, but this was honors and it was a little bit harder. And one time my teacher called home because I was missing one assignment. That's crazy. Honestly, that's insane. Like, that made me not like him. I was like, you know, Hannah, your teacher called. He said you were missing an assignment. And I was like, yeah, an assignment. But yeah, I put neutral. The books were pretty good though. Fahrenheit 451, Frankenstein, Jane Eyre, also very good. Okay, business math. Business math is one of the most useful classes I've ever taken in any facet of my school career. It teaches you things like taxes and mortgages, how to buy a car, how to buy a house, how to take out a loan, things I will actually need to know for my life and living in this planet, in this economy. And it's helpful and it's lovely, and I love business math. Mwah. Cultural awareness and competency. Well, this is a class I'm taking this year, and I had a sub come in one day and say, this one is the award for the most creative class title I've ever heard. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty creative, and it's pretty out there, but it's fun. And I put cultural awareness and competency, and like, basically what you do is you just learn about different cultures. We learned about American, Asian, Caribbean, Greek, and that's it. All of those cultures. And it was very lovely in a very educational setting. I loved it. Okay, AP World History. I took AP World History my 10th grade year, and I put it in neutral. It's just world history but harder, you could just. Anyway, Algebra 2. Remember when I said that Algebra 1, learning it over Zoom, was probably not beneficial to my algebra career? Yeah, I was correct. Algebra 2, I literally passed with like 1 point. Passing a 65, my average was probably like a 70. That's crazy. I was so bad at Algebra 2. I was also in Honors Algebra 2, so everyone else would get like a 95, and I'd be here with my 42 on the test, and I'd be like, loathe. Just because I was bad at it, not because of the teacher. The teacher was actually pretty nice. Alright, astronomy. Remember when I said I was a big science girly and I wanted to be an astrophysicist when I was little? Well, yeah, so I took astronomy my sophomore year, and basically, I hated it because it was pretty much just notes. Like, you just sit there and take notes. And I hate those kinds of classes. It seems like the teacher just like Googled a packet to have you fill out and then just like did no teaching. And that's ridiculous. You're a teacher, teach. But the teacher wasn't even bad. She was very nice. She let me get lunch like every day in class time. And she didn't even care if you weren't doing the work. But like, she had like a pet snake and a pet spider. They were really cool to look at. But all we did was take notes, and it was horrifying. Music theory. I am a huge music theory nerd. I have perfect pitch, which makes music theory very easy for me. I love music, I love choir, I love singing, I love music theory. Music theory was an easy love for me. I took it sophomore year. Okay, American literature, my first period class for my junior year. I didn't like it. The books were pretty bad. Great Gatsby was the only good one. This wasn't an honors or AP class because the AP class, that is AP Lit or something, whatever juniors take, had the same teacher as my 9th grade English class. Remember, the one that will roast you. So I was like, man. And the teacher from my American literature class was very nice, but he also just kind of like gave you a worksheet to do and like let you do it. And I actually like that because it's so early in the morning that like I can just pop in my headphones and listen to a YouTube video or something, and it'd be cool. He does not care if you listen to music or whatever, but I still put it in a dislike because, you know, I don't like reading. English is not my thing. All right, AP Music Theory. AP Music Theory is probably one of my favorite classes I've taken in high school because it's more challenging. Music Theory was very easy due to my perfect pitch, and AP Theory was at least a little bit harder. Basically, AP Theory had the same teacher as Music Theory, and I love her so much. She is probably one of the most inspiring teachers I've had in my whole academic career because, you know, she's not mean. She lets us do our thing, and she actually teaches. No shade to any teachers out there. I love teachers. You guys should be paid a lot of money, but you don't. So, love. Musical theater. I like my musical theater class. I just wish that like it was more like we got to do our own solos. We only do like one solo a year, and it's fun as hell, don't get me wrong. We do a lot of like group numbers, and I like to work on my own, you know? So I put it under like photography. I love photography. I love the content of it. The only problem with that is I'm awful at it. I am so bad at photography, that is crazy. I would always lose my SD card. I would never take the photos right. I was bad at like focusing. So I put it under neutral just because of me. Not because of anything that anyone did, just me. APUSH is the only non-music class under love. I am a big APUSH fan. I loved, like, the teacher taught beautifully, wonderfully. Like, the teacher was not like, here's a worksheet, go away. Like, she taught. It was lovely. And I like the content, you know. Like I said, musical theater nerd, Hamilton. We watched Hamilton in APUSH, and it was very fun and very lovely. And it helped me learn, honestly. Like, I already knew Hamilton. I already have it memorized, by the way. But, you know, Hamilton helps. If you're an APUSH teacher, turn Hamilton on. It's beautiful. We're in 11th grade. We can hear all the cuss words. And it's the only class that's not music related under love. Speaking of love, choir. I have been in choir for 8 years now, and it's the only, like, music thing that I'm good at. I am not good at any instruments. Not piano, not violin, not anything like that. I'm a good singer though, and it's the only thing that I pride myself on throughout my whole academic career. So choir is a class that I love, and I rank at the top of my list behind music theory and probably above APUSH. I love choir. All right, gym I hate. Gym dislike. I didn't put it in loathe because I have to do it and I might as well get used to it. But like, I'm not athletic. I'm a music kid. Like, come on, dude. Geometry. I took geometry my freshman year. It was like advanced math still, and I actually wasn't awful at it. So I'm gonna put it in like, because I wasn't as bad as it is algebra 2 because it relied less on algebra 1. See, in my opinion, it should go algebra 1, algebra 2, geometry, not algebra 1, geometry, algebra 2. Because guess what I forgot during geometry? Everything I learned about algebra, which I already didn't know because I learned algebra over Zoom. So yeah, algebra 1, not my thing. Algebra 2, not my thing. Geometry was pretty good though. Alright everybody, that is my class ranking. Here is my little list. I'll put it right over there. And basically that's all I have for you guys today. Now I think I'm going to start uploading on Mondays because, you know, my last 2 videos, I got views, I got subscribers. It's sounding good, you know, like I'm going to upload on Mondays and I'm going to come up with ideas. So if I miss a Monday, don't worry. I'm just trying to come up with an idea and I'll make up for it later in the week. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today, and I'm very glad you watched this video, and I hope that it could help you if you're maybe making your schedule for your junior, senior, freshman, sophomore year, whatever. So yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I love you.